green marble crochet tutorial. For this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to make this wrist warmer. And this is what we're making. So yes, we're doing this. Like I said, I promised a cable stitch wrist warmer, and here we are with our cable stitch wrist warmer. So that's what we're doing. So there's a couple of things that I need to mention before we start. So what you're going to need to do to begin this is you're going to need to chain a length that wraps around the top, around your knuckle area, sort of that circumference thingy of your hand. That many chains is going to be how many rows of ribbing that you're going to do at the beginning. I will explain that while I'm doing it, while I'm showing you, but that's what you're going to need to do. Also, so this is the right hand. I don't know which way I'm facing you, but anyway. So this is for my right hand. So to do the right hand, the first 10 stitches are what make up the cable pattern. So the first 4 stitches are closest to the thumb hole. So for the left hand, it's going to be a mirror image of what you've done for this case. Because the first 10 stitches make up the cable pattern, I've got 14 stitches for the hand, for underneath. So for the left hand side, the second row, when you're starting the cable stitch pattern, you're going to be starting with the large number of double crochets across before you get to the ribbing. So you're going to do, say if you've got 24 stitches like me, I do explain this all in the tutorial, but I'm explaining it now just so you know what we're working with. So yes, for the left hand, you'll be doing on the second row of double crochet. To start the pattern, you'll be doing 14 double crochets across before you start putting in the cabling. So that's what we're doing. Yeah, I just wanted to say that. The written pattern for this will be available on both Patreon and Ravelry. So I'll be working on that tonight or tomorrow, not sure. Because I do still have to go into the courtyard, put this on, take some nice pictures for the thumbnail. Yes, I'm going to be doing that. So yeah, I'm very proud of this. And like I mentioned in the tutorial, this is the same yarn that for the sweater that I put on. So it looks really good. It's going to look good. Yeah, I love it. All right. So we're going to do that. And that's it. That's all I need to say, I think. So yes, we can probably just get straight into making it. However, if you haven't subscribed, you would like to subscribe to join me for some more tutorials, I would love to have you join me. A big thank you to my patrons. Thank you for your support. Thank you to my subscribers. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching my videos. If you need to get in contact with me very quickly for any reason, crochet reason, look for me on Instagram. I'm _green_marble, and you can find me there very quickly for whatever you need help with. Just send me a message. Let me know what the problem is. We'll try and work it out together. Alternatively to that, you can send me an email, and my email address is thegreenmarbleproject@gmail.com. So that's another quick way to get my help with whatever you need help with. So there's that. Yes, I will be putting in the description my Instagram, The Green Marble, my Patreon, I'll put that in the description. Might put my email address, not sure. And also I'm going to put a link to the notebooks that I've been making. So my notebooks on Amazon, because as you'll probably know if you've seen the post, I just came out with a crochet journal. And I'm super proud of it. I love it so much. Somebody's already bought a copy, and I'm so thrilled about that. So thank you to whoever, if you're watching this, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I hope they leave a review on Amazon. That would be so awesome. All right, so yes, there's that. And I think I probably already mentioned, but it's just going to be a big help. I'm actually having trouble getting my hands on a copy for myself. Like, I really want one, but Amazon's being weird. So yeah, as soon as I get a copy, I'm going to start using it, and I'm going to show you how I'm using it. So that's going to go really well. I love it. So yeah, check that out. If you're interested, I do recommend. It's going to be good for everyone. Yeah. All right, so there's that. Also, there's other notebooks that I've made that, you know, if you're interested, have a look. Notebooks are always super useful. Yeah. All right, let's just get straight into making this wrist warmer. All right, now to begin with, we're going to have a quick look at the tiny details on the label of the yarn that we're using. So I'll just put that aside and look at this. So I also just want to mention quickly that if at any point during the tutorial you feel like I'm going too fast, there's a feature on YouTube where you can slow down the speed of the video. So I just suggest doing that so you can keep up at your own pace if you need to. Alright, so this is what we're working with. And if you need more time to look at anything, just pause the video. So there's that. And it's going to be 100% acrylic. Now, here we are at the tiny relevant details. I need to probably close up a bit better on that. So there we go. So it's saying I should be using a 6 or a 7mm hook, but I'm not going to. I'm going to use a 5. I'm using 5 for this particular design. Just because I feel like it keeps the stitches together more. And because these are wrist warmers and sort of, you know, a glove design, you don't really want big like gaps and holes in it. Anyway, let's just move on to making these. Now, we're going to start by finding the end of our yarn. So we're going to look for the end of our yarn. Try not to get it twisted. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start by making a slip knot. And to make a slip knot, what you do is you take the end of the yarn between your thumb and your index finger of your right hand, like this. And with your index finger and your middle finger of your left hand, you're going to wind the working end around like this, grab hold, pull through. Just like that. And you don't have to make the end of that long. You can sort of make it a bit shorter because we will be crocheting, I'll be crocheting this in as we go along once we get to the actual body of the wrist warmer. But for now, what we're going to do is get working. Adjust our knot to our hook, pull tight. We're going to get working on the ribbed hem. So it's going to have a ribbed hem at the beginning and at the end of the work. Alright, so what we're going to do first is we're going to chain a length of 8. We're going to chain a length of 8, and to make a chain stitch, it is yarn over, pull through, so that's 1 chain, yarn over, pull through, that's 2 chains, yarn over, pull through, that's 3 chains. Alright, so we're going to chain 8, and we'll meet back up and talk about what we're going to do next. Alright, now here we are with 8 chains. That's what that looks like. Now what we're going to do is, skipping the first chain from the hook, so that one right there, we're going to put a single crochet into the second chain from the hook. So not that one, that's the first one, into that one just there. So you're going to insert your hook into the top part of that, yarn over, pull through a loop, yarn over, pull through, and that's a single crochet. And we're going to be putting single crochets into every chain all the way back to the beginning. So moving on to the next one, so that's 3 single crochets. We've got 4, 5, 6, and 7. So there we go, there's our 7 single crochets. Now for the next row we're going to be doing something different, and what we're going to do is we're going to chain 1, so chain 1, and we're going to turn the work. Now we're going to put a single crochet through the whole of the first stitch, and what I mean by that is if you turn to the top of the stitch you can see there's a V at the top just there, and there's that first one. So you're obviously skipping the chain of 1 that you just did. You're going to go in beneath both parts of that V, just like that. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, so we've single crocheted through the whole of that first stitch. But for stitches 2 through to 6, we're going to be putting our single crochet into the top back part of that V at the top of the stitch. So see, just there's that V, then you're going to go into that top back part just there, just like you would if you were putting a single crochet into a chain. So you're going to the top back part, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. So single crochet. So that's stitches 2 to 6, so that's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So that's how we're doing stitches 2 through to 6. Now for stitch 7, right at the end there, you're going to put your stitch through beneath both parts of that V again, so through the whole of the stitch, going in beneath both parts of that V, just like that. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, single crochet. So that's that. Now you're going to be repeating this particular row. So you're going to chain up 1, you're going to turn first stitch through the whole of the stitch, stitches 2 through to 6 through the top back part, stitch 7 through the whole of the stitch, and you're going to be doing this for a total of 24 rows. Hopefully in the intro I will have explained how to measure how many stitches you need, because this is going to be the perfect stitch count for me to, you know, fit my hand comfortably. So yeah, work with whatever stitch count you've got. So say for example you've chained a length and you've wrapped it around your hand and you've got 30, you say you've got 30 chains. You're going to be doing 30 rows of this particular ribbing thing that we're doing here. So we're chaining up 1, we're turning, going through the whole of the first stitch, stitches 2 through to 6 into the top back part, and that creates the ribbing effect. And you will be doing, say if you've got that stitch count of 30, you're going to be doing 30 of these rows. And that's the beginning, but my stitch count is 24, so I'm going to be doing 24 of these rows. What am I doing there? That was wrong. Single crochet. So yes, I'll meet back up with you once I've done my 24 rows of this ribbing. And this is obviously including that first row that you did into the chain. So that's 1, 2, and I'm on row 3. Alright, so I'll see you soon when I've done my 24 rows. And we'll talk about how we're going to join the cuff and move on to the body of the hand of the glove. Alright, see you soon. Alright, now then, here are my 24 rows of ribbing. So what we're going to do now is we're going to join the ends together. And to do that, what you do is you take it like this. So you've got your last stitch up the top just here. And you turn it like this, making sure the yarn is to the back, like so. And you fold it together like this. And what you're going to be doing is turning both these sides towards you. And you're going to be single crochet joining the stitches at this end to the foundation chains at the beginning. So what we're going to do is we're going to stick our hook through that first foundation chain just there. Then you're going to find your yarn. You're going to yarn over, pull a loop through that chain, and then you're going to yarn over, single crochet, just like that. Now what you do at this point is you sort of pull that a bit loose and you drop that loop that's on the hook and you sort of push it to the side like this. Now, skipping that first stitch just there on the last row that you've done, so skipping that first one because you've already done the single crochet through that, or to represent that stitch. So what you can do is move on to the next stitch along just there, and you're going to stick your hook through that stitch. You're going to pick up that loop that you've dropped, so you're going to pull it through that stitch just there and pull tight. And then turning back to the chain end, or the foundation chains, you're going to stick your hook through the next foundation chain along, so that one just there, yarn over, pull through a loop, yarn over, single crochet, just like that. Then once again you're going to pull that loose, drop the loop, move to the next stitch along, so that one just there. Where are we? Moving to that stitch just there, stick your hook through, then pick up that stitch that you dropped and pull that through that next stitch, pull tight. Then moving to the next foundation chain along, you're going to go in, you're going to yarn over, pull up, yarn over, single crochet. So just like that, and that's 3 single crochet joins. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. So I've got 4 left to do. So what I'm going to do, go into the next one, pull through that loop, pull tight, go into the next along, yarn over, pull up, yarn over, single crochet. So that's 4, and now obviously I've got 3 left. So I'll do those remaining 3, and we'll meet back up and we'll talk about how we're going to move on to the body. Alright, now here I am about to finish up my last single crochet join, so just into that last foundation chain right there at the beginning. So there we go. Alright, all done. Now what we're going to do is, see, I've got the loose end at the end just here from the beginning. I've got that sort of up against the side, so I'm going to crochet that in as I go along, as I put the stitches into these row ends just here. So what we're going to do is, grabbing the working end of the yarn, so just here, you're going to chain up 2, so 1 and 2, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting double crochets into every row end all the way around. So because we put our first and last stitches through the hole of the stitch. Through the hole of the stitch. It's going to make it easier for us to find the row end. So as you can see just here, this is the first row end that we're going to be working with. So just into there. So what you're going to do for a double crochet, you're going to yarn over, insert your hook through that row end just there like so, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So just like that. And as you can see, I'm working that in as I go along. So that was at a peak of this ribbing. So now you can see that the next row end that we're going into is going to be in sort of like a row end valley. So just there. So you're going to yarn over, find that row end, which is right there. You're going to stick your hook through, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's 2. So because I've got 24 rows of ribbing, sorry, because I've got 24 rows of ribbing, I'm going to have 24 double crochets all the way around. So I've got 2. Moving on to the next one, which is a peak. So we're going to yarn over, pull up, yarn over. So that's 3. Moving on to the next row end, that's going to be 4. And we've got 5. So I'm going to do my 24 double crochets around. Meet back up with you at the end of the round, and we'll talk about what we're going to do next. All right, now here I am at the end of the round, and I've got my 24 double crochets all the way around, just like that, and that's what that looks like. So what we're going to do now is, readjusting my hook back through that stitch, is we're going to slip stitch into the stitch at the top of that chain 2 from the beginning. So there it is right there. You're going to slip stitch into that stitch just there, into that. It's actually the stitch for the first, well, it's the first stitch. So you're going to slip stitch into that. And what you're going to do now is you're going to chain up 2 and turn. So 1, 2, and turn. Now I'm going to explain something really quickly. Obviously, if you saw the cable stitch tutorial, you're going to know already what I'm talking about, but I'm just going to explain it briefly now, just in case you didn't watch that. So the way you can tell which part of the stitch that you're going into, especially when you chain up 2 and turn, if you're working from the non-braided side, which we're going to be working into, because see, we've chained up 2. If we hadn't turned, you've got that braided side of the stitch at the top just there facing you. But because we're turning, we've got the other side facing us, the non-braided side. And the way you can tell which stitch you're working into, because you've got the body just here to count, the stitch at the top, or the part that you go into for the stitch that represents the body that you're working with on the non-braided side is always going to fall to the top left hand side of the body of that stitch. So you can see just here, say we're working with that first stitch just there. Where are we? So that first stitch just there, at the top just there to the top left, that's the stitch that we're going to be working into. But if you are working into the braided side, then the part of the stitch that you would be working into falls to the top right hand side. So say for instance, there's your stitch that you're working with. That bit just there at the top right hand is the part that you would be working into. So I just wanted to quickly say that because it helps if you know that. So anyway, we've chained up 2, we've turned. Now, what we're going to do is, so you're going to have to reflect for the other glove what you're doing on this side. So it's going to be like a mirror image. So for this glove, this is going to be for the right hand. We're going to be putting 4 stitches in to begin with. So, okay, also, we chained up 2, we've turned. Don't put your first stitch right into that stitch right beneath the chain of 2. So not that one just there. You're going to move into the next one along. That's going to be your first stitch. So, because then you're working, instead of working into the stitch above the chain, you're working into the stitch above the body of the first stitch along. So you've got 4 stitches along, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So now the next 6 stitches and these 4 that we've just done are going to, well, not including these 4 stitches, but the next 6 stitches are going to make up the cable stitch pattern. So those 6 stitches plus these 4, you're doing it obviously at the beginning on, like, well, yeah, you're doing it at the beginning on this side. So for the other glove, what you would be doing at this point is you would be doing 14 stitches around before you start your cable stitch. So I'll show you what I mean. So we've done 4 stitches. Now we're going to do the cable stitch pattern. So to do this, we're going to yarn over. We're going to go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, but leave it like that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do a quadruple crochet back post around the 4th stitch along, including this stitch that you've just gone into. So it's around the body. So here's the body of that first stitch you've gone into. So you're going to count 1, 2, 3, and you're going to be putting a quadruple crochet back post around this stitch here. So let's hold that like this. Then we're going to grab our yarn like so. We're going to yarn over once, twice, and 3 times. Now for a back post, what we do is we come in beside the stitch like this. So I'm holding the stitch that we're working with. You go in beside the body of that stitch, push in front of it, and go back out the other side. Then you yarn over, pull a loop around that stitch like this, and for a quadruple crochet you yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now we've pulled through 2 3 times, but because we did half of a double crochet just here, we've got 2 stitches instead of just the 1 if we were doing a normal quadruple crochet. I hope you're getting all this. I know it seems a little bit complicated, but once you've done it a few times, it'll be fine. So now what you're going to do, you've pulled through 2 3 times, so now you're going to yarn over, pull through 3 to finish up that stitch. I feel like doing the half of that double crochet gives the cable stitch a bit of backing and pushes it up a little bit more. So that's why I'm doing that. So now what we're going to do is yarn over, go into the next stitch along just here, insert our hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, leave it like that. So now we're going to yarn over 1, 2, 3. And now what we're doing is we're moving to the next stitch along after that stitch we just back posted around. So where is that? That's that one just there. So we're moving on to that one just there. We're going to back post around that. So you push your hook around in front of it like so, yarn over, pull a loop around the body of that stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3. So now what we're going to do, go into the next stitch, yarn over, go in. So this is going to be stitch number 3 of the 6. Pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over 1, 2, 3. Then moving to the next stitch along, which is going to be that one just there, you're going to back post around that stitch, pull up a loop, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3. Alright, so now we're going to create the crossover of the cabling. So what we're going to do for that is yarn over, go into the next stitch along just there. So you're going to go into that stitch, be careful so don't push the cables in front so that you're not going around those. So going into that next stitch, this one can seem kind of tricky, but there we are. So we're going in, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Now, yarn over 1, 2, 3. And what we have to do at this point is turn the work like this. And we're going to count 3 stitches back from that very first back post that we did. And we're going to be doing, what are we doing? Back posts? No, front posts. Front posts. Yes, okay, these stitches are going to be front posts. So what we're going to do is we're counting 3 back from that first back post we did. So 1, 2, and 3. And to do a front post, what we do is we stick our hook in beside the stitch like this and push it out behind the other side. Then you yarn over, pull a loop around the post of that stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now you do have 3 loops on your hook at this stage, so you're going to yarn over, pull through 3, and you're sort of turning your work back to the way it should be facing. So you're going to do this 2 more times, and you're going to be doing it around the next 2 stitches along towards the middle of this cabling. So you've got this one just here and this one just here underneath. So we'll do it together. So yarn over, you're going to go into the next stitch along just there, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, then 1, 2, 3, turn the work and go into that. There's that next stitch. We're going to front post around that next stitch, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3, and you're turning back to the way you should be facing. Then we've got one more, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, leave them, 1, 2, 3, turn to the other side. Then we've got that one more stitch in the middle just there. You're going to front post around that. So yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3. So there we go. Look, I know that might seem a little bit complicated, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. Trust me, it's really easy. So what we're going to do now is, now we have 14 stitches remaining. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3, well, 2. So I'll finish up these 14 stitches and I'll see you at the other side. All right, here I am at the end of the round, and as you can see, my last stitch is the stitch that's right beneath that chain of 2. So just into there, that's my last stitch. Double crochet, and right at the end here we're going to look for that chain of 2, which is going to look a little bit different this time because we chained up 2 and we turned. So yeah, so just there we chained up 2, we turned. You're going to slip stitch into that stitch above, just in there, slip stitch like so, to close the work. To close the round. Okay, so now what we're going to do, so do you see what I mean? How for the other glove, you're going to have to reflect what you've done here in sort of a mirror image, so that the cabling is sitting on this, it's going to be sitting on this side, then for the other one it's going to have to sit on this side. So for the other glove, for the left-hand glove, what you're going to do is you're going to put in that beginning round of double crochets off the ribbed hem. So that's just going to be plain double crochets. It's going to be exactly the same. But for the second row, if you've got the same stitch count as me, what you're going to have to do is, because you want to have those 4 stitches on the other side of on the thumb side of the cabling, and the 6 stitches for the cable. So for me, that leaves me with the 14. So what I would be doing for this, for the left-hand glove, is I would be, for the second row, I am chaining up 2, I'm turning, and then I would put 14 double crochets across before I start the cabling. So you see what I mean by that. If that's not very well explained, let me know and I'll try to think of another way to explain it, but that's the best way I know how. So now, right now, what we're doing is we're chaining up 2, we're turning, and we're going to move on to phase 2 of the cabling. And where are we? So this row and the next row are going to be the rows that you're repeating, until we've done, did I just say that? Anyway, we're going to be doing 5 rows, including the first row, till we get to where we're going to create the thumb hole. So we're going to be doing that. Now what you're going to do is, because I've got 14 till I get to the cabling, I'm going to put 14 double crochets across. And remember, we're skipping that stitch right beneath that chain. So you're going to do 1. So I'm doing 14 across. All right. I think I just said just before that the next 2 row, or this row and the next row, are the rows that you'll be repeating to the thumb hole, but really you're just going to be repeating them throughout the entire wrist warmer. I just want to clear that up. Anyway, so what we're going to do now, I've put in my 14 double crochets to the cable stitch. So what we're going to do now is we're going to yarn over, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, and leave it like that. So now what we're going to do is yarn over. Now what you're doing is it's going to be really easy to find where you need to go through for this, or go around for this, because you're putting a front post around the cable part. So just that first cable just there, you're going to go around that, front post around that like so, yarn over, pull a loop around that post, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3. So it's sort of like doing 2 double crochets together. Actually, it's exactly like that, except one of them is a front post. So yarn over, and you're going to go into the next stitch along. So that's that one just there. You're going to go in, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, but leave it like that, yarn over, go to the next post along the next cable, going to go around that, front post around that, yarn over, pull up loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3. So now we've got one more of those to do. Yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, go around the post of that next cable, from post, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3. Now what we're going to do is we've got to sort of push these cables we've just done, or these cables that we've just gone around to the side, so that we can get to the ones underneath. What we're going to do is yarn over, go into the next stitch along, so it's going to be that one just there. You're going to go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Now, pushing those cables aside, you'll be able to see it because you can't, I mean, the cables are sort of emphasized just there underneath. So there's that first one just there. I'm going to yarn over, I'm going to push these aside, I'm going to pull that up a little, go around that post, front post around that one underneath, yarn over, pull up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3. So we've got two more left of the cabling. So we're going to go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, leaving those 2 loops on the hook, going into that next cable along. So you sort of pull it up a little bit just like that so that you can get around it easier. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3. And we've got one more to do, and this one's going to be a lot easier. You're just going to go like that, yarn over, maybe pull it up a little bit just like that. And go in, yarn over, pull up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3. So there you go. And now it's really starting to look like cabling. So you see, just like that. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. All right, so now you've got 4 double crochets left, just normal double crochets to the end of the round, which we're going to do together because there's only 4. All right. Yes, here we are. All right, so like I said, we're doing 5 rounds from the cuff until we start putting in the thumb hole. So now here we are at the end. We're going to slip stitch into the stitch at the top of that, chain of 2 from the beginning to close the round. So just like that. There we go. This rainbow yarn is so pretty. All right, so now what we're going to do is chain up 2, 1, 2, turn. You're putting in your 4 double crochets across. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're sort of alternating. You've got one round which is long cables, so that's quadruple back posts, front posts, back posts with front posts, where you turn the work around. So that's going to be this round, and then the other round is going to be the double crochet front posts, right, just all the way across, like we just did. So once again, we're going to yarn, we put in our 4, yarn over, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, leave it like that, yarn over 1, 2, 3. Then it's going to be really easy to find this one because you've just got your posts sticking up just there. So you're going to go around the body of that front post double crochet that you've done. You're going to go through there. It's sort of like a front post, but like a reverse front post, upside down. It's an upside down front post. So you're turning your work upside down like this, going in through that stitch just there. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. So that's pull through 2 3 times, yarn over, pull through 3. Then you've got 2 more of those. So let's do those separately. All right, so I've done those 3 beginning quadruple crochet front posts, or upside down front posts, back post thingies, just there. So now what we're going to do is yarn over, go into the next stitch along, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Then we're going to yarn over 3 times, 1, 2, 3, turn to that front of the work just there. Now you're going to be putting front posts around these stitches just in here from the previous round, counting 3 back from the middle of the cabling. So just around that first front post just there, yarn over, pull up, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3, and that turns you back to the back of the work. Then yarn over, and going into the next stitch along, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, then 1, 2, 3 yarns over, turning the work to the front. Then you've got that second double crochet front post along. I'm going to go through that, pull up a loop, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 1, 2, 3. Back to the other side, yarn over, go into that final stitch of the cabling, pull up a loop, yarn over. I think I just got confused. Anyway, so half of that double crochet, then you're going to yarn over 3 times, turn to the front, then you've got that. Here we go. Just push that aside. Make sure you're not going into that one just there. You're going to go into that one right in the middle, just there. That's that third one along from the previous row. Yarn over, go around front post around that. Yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. Try to be neat. Talking to myself. Pull through 2 and pull through 3. So there we go. So you're just repeating this round and the previous round. So now I've got 14 stitches to finish up the round. And once I've done that, I'm going to chain up 2, turn the work, double crochet 14, back across till I get to the cabling, and just repeat the last 2 rows. Repeat the last 2 rows. So once I've got 5 rounds in, I'm going to meet back up with you, and we're going to create the thumb hole. Alright, so I'll see you when we get to that. Alright, now I've done 5 rounds, and here's what the wrist warmer is starting to look like. So it's coming along nicely. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to do 3 rounds or 3 rows unjoined, or 3 unjoined rounds. And for that, we're only going to be chaining up 1 at the beginning of each round, or round row. So what we're going to do is chain up 1, we're going to turn, and remember for this round, because we're working off the previous closed round, you're not going to be putting your stitch into that first stitch just there. You're going to yarn over, go into the next stitch, and put a double crochet. So 1 double crochet. And you're going to obviously be repeating the cabling pattern as you're doing this, but it won't affect that. It'll just be fine. You've got the same stitch count all the way around. So 1, for me, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to complete the round, and I'll meet back up with you at the end, and we'll talk about how we're going to move on to the next one. Alright, here I am at the end of the round. So like I said, we're not joining this one, and we're not joining the next 2, but what we're going to do is, we will be joining the next one after this. So anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to chain up 1, we're going to turn. Now the first stitch, because this isn't joined, is going to go into the stitch right beneath that chain of 1 that we've just done. So you're going to yarn over and just go straight into that stitch just there. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So now you've just got another round, so you're still doing the cabling pattern, unjoined. And once you get to the end of this round, you're going to chain up 1, you're going to turn, you're going to go back in the other direction, maintaining the cable pattern. And once you get to the end of that 3rd round, that is when you're going to join. And I'm going to meet back up with you at that stage, and we'll talk about what we're going to do next. Because I have a little bit of something in mind that I want to see if it's going to work. So don't join that 3rd round. We'll meet back up, and if what I have in mind works, then we're going to do that. Alright, see you then. Alright, now here I am at the end of the row, the round row thingy. Alright, so what I would normally do at this point is I would just slip stitch into the top of that chain 1 at the beginning of the round, like this, to close up. And normally I just do that and move straight onto the rest of the glove. But we're not going to do that this time. What I'm going to do is, straight from the last stitch just here at the end of the round, I'm going to chain 1, like this, and I'm going to turn to the side, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to work 2 single crochets into each double crochet row end all the way around the thumb hole. So to do that, what we do is we're going to put our first single crochet into that first stitch just there, so beneath that first one. So you're going to go in there, so 1, and then you've got that next part of that double crochet row end, so that just there, we're going to single crochet around that. Then you're going to move to the next row along, which is going to look a little bit different, obviously, because it's the other end of the row. So, but you still want to work into the 2 parts of that specific row end, because then you see you've got here the two parts of this row end, which is that part just there and that part just there. So for this next one, it's going to be smaller, but you've got one single crochet just there. Then you can see there's another part just in there that you're going to go into, so you're going to stick your hook in there, single crochet. So because there are 3 rows and we're doing 2 into each row end, there is going to be 12 double crochets, or single crochets. So we've got that next one into that 3rd row end, all the way around the thumb hole. So it looks like we're doing it together anyway, which is good. So we've done 6 single crochets just there like that. Now you're turning to the other side, so just turning around like this. You've got that first row end just there. You're going to work into that first part of that row end, a single crochet just like that. Then into the next part of that row end, which is it right there? Yes, right there. You're going to go in there, single crochet. Then moving on to the next row end, which is, where are we? Here we are. So this row end just here, you've got 1 into that sort of big part of that row end. Then you've got the next part just there, which would be the top of the stitch, and you're just going to go in there. Then, why am I doing that? Then you've got this last row end just here, so you've got 2 parts just here, and that stitch at the top just there is going to be the second part. So you've got part 1, which is just sort of beneath it, like this, just like that. Single crochet, then you've got stitch just there, single crochet. And now what you're going to do is you're just going to kind of turn like this, and you're going to be slip stitching beneath this first single crochet that you did. So you're sort of turning it like this, go into that stitch, yarn over, pull through, and slip stitch, just like that, to close up that thumb hole. That just makes the thumb hole look neater, sort of gives it a neater finish. So let's try that on. Actually, let's check, because actually now it's turned us to the side of the work that we'd normally be working into anyway. So all we need to do now is chain up 2 and just move straight onto these, because you can see we've got the unbraided side facing us. And obviously you're going to be working into that stitch just there, because there's the body of that first stitch right along just there. So you've got to yarn over, double crochet. If in doubt, just count your stitches around, you know. Alright, so now I'm just trying on the glove, and you'll see what I mean by that. Just gives it a neater finish, just makes it look nicer, you know. So that's what we're doing. Now I've got 1 more round left until we move on to the ribbing at the top. So here we are. I've got 14 around. I'm going to finish the last row of this ribbing. So that's what we've got so far. Hang on, let's focus a bit better. Ooh, that's very bright. So yeah, that's what we've got. So I'm going to finish this round, we'll meet back up, and then we'll talk about how we're going to do the ribbing at the top. Alright, see you soon. Alright, now then, here I am at the end of the last round. So I'm just going to look for that chain of 2 at the beginning just there. We're going to slip stitch into that stitch at the top of that chain of 2. Where are we? Just in there. Slip stitching to close the round. So just like that. There we go, all closed up. Pull that a bit tight, because we're not going to need to worry about this at the end just here. Obviously if we chained up 2 and we turned, we'd be skipping that slip stitch anyway. So what we're going to do now is we're going to make a chain of 8. So it's going to be the same as the beginning, but you know, we're going to be attaching it as we go along to the top of the wrist warmer just here. So what we're going to do is we're just chaining up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to be skipping that first stitch at the beginning just there, working a single crochet into the 7 chains all the way back to the beginning of the chain. Alright, and here we are with that first row of single crochet. So what we're going to do now is this row that we've just done of single crochet represents the stitch right beneath that chain of 8 that we did. So that stitch right there at the beginning. Hang on, let's just focus a bit better. That's so bright. I don't like that brightness. Anyway, so that stitch right there beneath the chain of 8, we're going to slip stitch into that. So that's slip stitching to join that first row of single crochet to the top of the glove. Now, to represent a chain up of 1, what we're going to do is slip stitch into the next stitch along. So that one just there, you're just going to slip stitch into that, And that's also going to represent, because we're going to slip stitch, we're going to turn, it's going to represent the next row of single crochet. So what we're going to do is, into the first stitch along, you're going to go through the whole of this. So we've chained up one, no, well, we've slip stitch, chained up. We've turned, and you're keeping the yarn sort of up and around on this side. You're going to go into the whole of that first stitch, just like we did at the beginning, single crochet. Then the stitches 2 through to 6, we're going into the top back part of the stitch. And there we are, I've done 2 through to 6. Now I'm going into 7. We're going to go through the whole of the stitch just there. So getting in there into the whole of that stitch. Single crochet, just like that. Now you're going to chain up one, and you're going to turn back the other way, just like this. You're going to repeat that last row of going into the whole of the first and the last stitch. And stitches 2 through to 6 into the top back part of the stitch. Alright, so here I am at the beginning again. So what we're going to do is, to reflect the row of single crochet we've just done, we're going to slip stitch into the next stitch along on the top of the glove. So this one just here. And that's connecting that last row that we did of single crochet to the glove. Now once again, to reflect a chain up of 1 and also the next row of single crochet, we're going to slip stitch into the next stitch along, just like that. Turn the work, and you're just repeating the last couple of rows that you've done. So we're doing that, and obviously when I get to the end I will have a total of 24 rows attached to the top of the glove, 24 rows of ribbing, and that's what we're doing. And once we get to the end of that, we're going to meet back up, and I mean, it's pretty much just the same. You're just going to be single crochet joining the two ends together, the last row of single crochet with the beginning foundation chain of 7. Well, it's of 7 because the 8th chain was obviously the turning chain. So that's what we're doing, but I'll meet you at the end. I'll meet you at that point. Alright, so I'll see you when we get there. Alright, now that I've done my 24 rows of ribbing and they're all attached to the top of the glove, the wrist warmer, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull loose that last stitch. I'm going to turn the glove inside out, because that's going to make it easier for me to do this single crochet join of the ends of this ribbing. So where are we? Let's readjust to our last stitch just there. So readjusting back into that stitch. Yeah. Let's do it right. So like that. Now, what we're going to do is just the same as the beginning. You're finding the other end. So you're sort of folding it together like so, and then sort of turning that towards you so that you can get into the first of those foundation chains. So that, hang on, it's just, oh, that is so bright. I don't like it. Okay, that's better. Alright, so the first of those foundation chains just there, you're going to go in there, you're going to single crochet that to the last stitch, just like that, drop that stitch, and then remember you're skipping that first one just there because you've already joined that. You're going to go into the next one along just there. You pick up the stitch you dropped, pull it through, pull it tight, single crochet that to the next foundation chain along, which is going to be just there. So you're going to go through there, pull up a loop, single crochet. So that's 2. You're going to be doing all 7 of those till you get to the end just there. May seem a little bit tight, but work with it. You'll definitely manage it. Alright, so then what you're going to do, actually no, I'll meet you at that stage. We'll do it together. Alright, so I'm on my 7th join just here, and as you can see, the closer it gets to the inside, it's a lot harder to sort of do that single crochet join. So I'm going to pull that loop through there. So turning to this side, but yeah, as you can see, that's not easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through the other end, pull this right to the side just here. I'm going to put my hand through here and just sort of hold, actually I can use the loop, the thumb hole loop. Good one, Amber. So you can sort of pull it apart just there like that and work your hook into that last foundation chain just there. Yarn over, pull through, final 7th single crochet, just like that. So now what you're going to do is you're going to chain 1, you're going to find your scissors, mine right here, yes, and we're going to cut the yarn. So just cut yourself a nice length there so that you can you can use your darning needle to weave that through. Actually, there's my darning needle. There it is. There it is. So yes, now what you're going to do, you've cut the yarn, just pull that chain of one through. So just pull that through, just like that. Pull tight to secure. So now at this point, before you weave in your ends, you might want to turn your glove back the other way. I'm just going to take these rings off so it doesn't catch. Well, this one. Take this one off. Where are we? There we go. And now, I'm just going to, I just realized I'm using the same yarn that I used to make my sweater that I'm wearing. Anyway, so yes. There you go. That's what that looks like. That looks great. I love it. Nice one. All right, good. I hope you like that too. All right, so there you go. Now all you're going to do is you're just going to weave in your ends. Well, actually, you just see one end because you remember the first end that we had from the original slip knot. We sort of worked that in as we did the beginning of the glove. So now all you need to do is just find this end that you've got. You're going to attach it to your, thread it through the end of your darning needle. Just no, that's really messy. It's not easy sometimes. But yes, you're going to thread that. Thread your yarn. Alright, well that was annoyingly hard, but I got there in the end. So we've threaded our needle, and now we're just going to work this end in. So I just like to go along the stitches at the top just here, just see there's like sort of a braid at the back close to where you have that weave tied off. Whoops, you're just going to work your needle around some of those stitches. And that's it, that's what I do. And then I learned this, I can't remember what video I watched, I saw a trick where after you've woven it through a bunch of these stitches along just here, you turn back and go the other way, and it sort of secures the weaving in a little more. So see, I've done a few stitches just there. Now I'm going to turn back this way and just sort of, where am I? Gone that way? Yeah. Then you can just sort of go back into the, obviously not going into the one that the last one that you did, which is that one just there. Go into the next one along and just weave back the other way, and it just fortifies the weaving in so that the thread is less likely to come out. And you can turn again, go back the other way again, obviously skipping that one, go to the next one. But yeah, just like that. And do that. Once you've done that, I'm going to just quickly finish this up here. Just pull that last bit through. I'm going to just cut that last little end. I'm going to put my darning needle away because I'm very prone to losing them. And I'm going to cut that close to the thing just there. Ah, there we go. All right, and then you can turn your glove, wrist warmer, back the other way, and we're all done. That's all finished. I really love it. I love this. I love that. It's nice. It's very nice. I love this cable stitch. Okay, good. So we're finished. Let me know what you think. What do you think? Do you like it? Do you not like it? I would love to know. That's it. I'm going to go away. I'm going to finish. I'm going to do the other glove, the other wrist warmer. And like I said, just remember, after you finish that first round of straight single crochet, you're reflecting the stitches on this side. So you will, if you've got 24 stitches like me, you will start the second row with just 14 double crochets across. Then you will start on the cabling pattern. Then you will have 4 double crochets to finish. Chain up 2 and just go from there. So yeah, that's what you're going to be doing. Yeah, alright. I'll see. I don't know if I'm going to go out and prance about in the courtyard to try on this wrist warmer. I might sit in the courtyard to take some pictures. I don't know. We'll see what happens. So yes, I'll just go finish my wrist warmer. I'll see you in a moment. Alrighty, here are the finished gloves. Wrist warmers, yes. So yeah, these are actually really quick to make. Didn't take long at all. Super comfy, super cozy, and yes, as you can see, I do really love this yarn. I'm really gonna have to find a way to get more of it, despite the fact that they're running out at the place where I get it from. Anyway, aside from that, yeah, there's not a lot to say. Let me know what you think. If you think the stitch is good, if you think I could improve on anything, you know, just would love to hear about it. Alright, so I hope you've made yourself a lovely pair of wrist warmers, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.